Yo, YouTube, what's going on? We're going to do a very quick, I don't think anything I do is very quick, but we're going to do what is hopefully a quick overview of the developer update that they've released on Twitter. They being, Behavior the devs. They've released a two-parter. There's one part where they briefly cover like a couple things that aren't like super detailed, and then they kind of go in and they talk about some actual like balance changes that are being made in the second one. So we're going to go through it. I'm going to give my thoughts on it, and maybe we can discuss things. I know some people are kind of unhappy about a lot of the balance changes and stuff, so I don't know. I kind of just want to give my input and, just get my thoughts out there. So this is part one. This one's less impactful in terms of balance and it's more just like discussing what they're going to be doing about things. There's a Happy New Year, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have a part two. First thing, patch optimization plans. Depending on where you play, it can take either a while to install a patch. Or sorry, it can either take a while to install a patch, or patch sizes can be unusually large. Needless to say, this isn't ideal. When new content releases, who wants to wait around for it? That's why we're working on improving the update process going forward, which is very true. First of all, why does it take so long? Keep it simple. The game is split into small chunks. This way, when the game updates, you only need to, you know what? I don't even want to read this. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I could just quickly go through this. They're basically going to make it so that when you download a new patch, it does it faster. That's essentially it. We don't really need all the like technical mumbo jumbo, right? I'm going to be honest. I don't understand half of it. You guys probably don't understand half of it. I'm going to say half of you guys probably don't understand it. I bet some of you guys are turbo nerds and know exactly what they're talking about. But the idea is that they're going to make it so that downloading patches is going to be better, which is good. Because honestly, that shit is very obnoxious, especially when it comes to like PTBs. Sometimes that shit takes like a literal hour to download. And it's like, man, I just want to play the new killer. You're killing me, Smalls. So good. That's a good thing. I mean, really obviously like no bad things there. This one's the part that I want to talk about. Matchmaking optimization plans. So this is a big thing. Obviously, MMR is a big topic, and this is a big thing. We're a few months into skill-based matchmaking, and we'd like to shed some light on what we've been working on as far as improvements we'll be making going forward. Though it may be polarizing, we want to be transparent as possible when it comes to skill-based matchmaking, as the discussion that stem from it are incredibly valuable to us as we continue to work on improvements. The game and the community are constantly changing, and the matchmaking system should always be adapted to support them. This is why we're constantly making changes behind the scenes. One recent example came from an influx of new players. We noticed that the default rating was placing first-time players against some fairly experienced opponents. So to remedy this, we lowered the default rating for new players so they'd be more likely to play amongst each other, which is a good change. We're likely making changes like this behind the scenes to find the best balance of fast queues and quality matches. Sorry, we're regularly making changes. Beyond small tweaks, we've identified some areas where the system could be improved. Let's run through each of them quickly. This is a really good change, by the way. This was a big thing. When skill-based matchmaking first came out, there was a big problem where like you would just run into people that were literally brand new. Like people that like legit had like 1.7 hours in the game, and I'd be there with like my 9,000 hours playing against them, and I'd be like, what? So that was definitely a problem, and I'm glad they addressed it. That was really good. I mean, I haven't really noticed it happening recently, so I think they did a good job with it. Let's see, backfill improvements. If someone leaves a lobby, the matchmaking needs to find a replacement, aka backfill. Right now, it heavily favors a quick replacement over a quality one. This could lead to some matches where one or more survivors are outside of the normal skill range. We're going to work towards finding a good balance between quality and wait times. That's interesting. I actually never knew that. So when someone leaves a lobby and then someone else joins in, that actually fucks with the matchmaking a lot. That's interesting. I wonder how often that's happened to me without me realizing it. Huh. I feel like people aren't leaving lobbies very often, but that's kind of interesting. Disconnection handling. Currently, the skill-based matchmaking doesn't handle disconnects as well as it could. We're looking to make adjustments to handle them better and make sure disconnects are treated fairly when altering someone's rating. They're probably just going to make it so like if your teammate DCs and you're a survivor, maybe it like affects you less when you lose or something. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Extended breaks. When someone takes an extended break from the game, their rating does not change. This isn't ideal because you're bound to be a little bit rusty after not playing for a while, and returning to difficult matches is a recipe for a frustrating night. We're hoping to introduce a mechanic that adjusts your rating when you've been gone for a while and to ease you back when you return. I hope they don't overdo this. I really hope they don't overdo this, because while I agree that this is good, right? Like I think if you haven't played the game in a while, you're going to be rusty, and maybe there's going to be like new content in the game that you don't understand, and you might need to be eased back into it. But I really hope they don't like. There's some really good players I know that like quit the game for like a year or two and then came back, and they're still really good. Right? Like they still understand the game. They still know how to play it. They're still really good. And if they just like throw them against new players, I mean, yeah, but I mean, I like the idea behind it, right? The idea behind it's good. I mean, I don't think this is like very important. I think the matchmaking barely works as is anyway. So, whatever. General improvements. This one's a little more technical. The game will detect which server you have the best connection to and match you with other players who are close to that server. This works well enough, but if you're right between two servers, you'll only be matched with one set of players. For players who have good connections to more than one server, we'd like to open up matchmaking and allow them to find matches with either set of players. This can help balance out queue times at off-peak hours and improve the quality of the matches made. Yeah, I really hope so, because I think that's the biggest problem. As a note, these changes will take a while to develop, but we're confident that these will be noticeable. See, that's all they said though. That's all they said about matchmaking. Here's my thing. I don't really give a shit about any of this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care about any of this. Like this is all okay, but the big issue, in my opinion, is this right here. These two words right here, queue times, are fucking terrible, man. I think that should be the #1 thing addressed. Again, I don't really know exactly how things work behind the scenes. I'm sure the devs probably know better than me, but it feels like the time of night that I play. If anybody in here plays DbD, maybe around like somewhere between like 10 p.m. Eastern and like 4 a.m. Eastern, right? If that's your time slot of when you play DbD, because that's around my time slot of when I play, and the matchmaking is terrible, dude. Like, the queue times are super long for Survivor, and I think what ends up happening is it just kind of like gives you whoever because of how long your queue times are, and it's horrible. I'm constantly like beating up on new players. It's not really like a good experience, to be honest with you. I haven't really been enjoying it, and I think it's mostly because of the queue times. Like, I basically wait in like a 10-minute queue to go against someone that's like brand new to the game, and it's like, what the fuck? So, in my opinion, I would have liked to see all of this just deleted, and instead I'd like to see something like, okay, I would have liked to see something like adding an incentive for, oh god, this is gonna be too hard, for the side, oh god, I can't, the side that needs players. There you go. Honestly, put that in the patch notes. I can't. I'm really bad at writing words with my mouse. Adding an incentive for the side that needs more players. There you go. That's all I want to see, dude. Fuck the rest of this. I don't care about any of this, honestly. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. They all sound like good changes, but like none of them are really the most impactful thing, in my opinion. Like, the most impactful thing is the fact that there's like 10+ minute queue times at certain times of the day, right? Like, killers have like really long queues in like the middle of the day, like maybe like afternoon / like early into the day. They have long queues, and then at night survivors have long queues, and it's brutal, man. If they just added an incentive, right? And like if they just gave an incentive, like kind of similar to like something that like Overwatch does or something, right? Where it's like, hey, we notice that there's way more survivor players than killer players right now, and it's messing with the queue time. So if you queue up for killer right now, we'll give you, I don't know, double blood points, or we'll give you, you know, maybe like 25 iridescent shards per match that you play or something, you know, like some kind of incentive like that to make you want to play the side that needs more players. I think that would go a long way, you know. I don't think it would magically fix everything, but it would at least help, I think, the main issue that at least I'm having. I don't know, like maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you guys are all super excited about all of this, and maybe I'm the only one in here that's like, you know, actually concerned about other things. But this just doesn't really address anything that I'm really concerned about, so it's kind of upsetting to me, I guess. But anyway, let's move on. Future solo queue experience. If you're reading this, you've been left on the hook at some point. Okay, maybe not, but the changes are very high. Thanks to skill-based matchmaking ratings, we're able to see the impact playing with a pre-made group has on the outcome of a match at various skill levels. The data confirms our suspicions. As skill goes up, so does the gap in survival rates between solo survivors and pre-made groups. In the top of the end of skill levels, the difference in escape rates can be as much as 15%. That's a lot. This isn't great. This isn't great. I agree. The difference between solo survivors and groups makes it difficult to find a perfect balance. If we balance killers around pre-made groups, solo survivors get left behind. Meanwhile, if we balance the game around solo survivors, killers have a rough time against groups. With that in mind, we're gonna be taking some measures to bridge the gap between solo and pre-made groups, which is good. Sure. We're aiming to strike a balance between making the solo players feel like they're a part of the team without being overbearing. For example, we want to share key pieces of information, like what are my teammates doing, but not too much info, like showing everyone's exact location. To put it simply, the idea is to bring survivors up to the same level, not give people excessive information that makes even pre-made groups stronger. That's a good idea. We want to share a very early peek at our potential way of closing this gap. Before we do, we want to stress that this is in the very, very early stages. We're curious to hear what you think, blah, blah, blah. One feature we're experimenting with is a status icon next to the survivor's portrait in the HUD that lets you know what they're doing. This way, solo survivors can base their decision around what their teammates are doing, and partial groups get a better idea of their solo teammates' contributions, making everyone feel like more of a team. This is something that can already be easily conveyed with a quick call out of a voice chat, but is currently not available to solo survivors. This is the early preview, so okay, for share thoughts, keep in mind that this is final or confirmed. Depending on how things go, it may be changed or scrapped entirely. We want to be open about it and keep you in the loop. I mean, that's good. I like it. I like that they included this. I'm glad they included this so that we can have a conversation about it, honestly, because this is kind of a big deal. This is actually a really, really big deal. So they're thinking about making it so that, like, beside the portrait of the survivor, you basically see what they're doing, right? Like, you can see if they're working on a gen, you can see if they're healing. I wonder how in depth it would be. I mean, I guess obviously it's still in the really early stages, so they don't know. But, like, I wonder if you can see if a survivor's running, or if a survivor is like walking or crouching. Because if it gave you all of that, it might be really good, right? Like, you can probably get a good idea of who's being chased based on who's running. I like that. I actually like that a lot. I feel like that's not too much information. Like, some people have asked for like a ping system where you can basically ping things, right? And I think that's too much information. I think that's so much information that it would actually make like Survive with Friends teams even stronger, which I think is not great, right? Like, I think this is like a good bit of information that'll make it so that solo queue teams maybe are close to the same level as Survive with Friends groups, but like not quite making them too strong. I actually like this a lot. I think it's really, really good. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this in the comments. I'm really curious to know what people think about this. That's very interesting. I like it a lot. I'm just gonna move on. New betas tab. Next time you head to the settings menu, you'll see a betas tab. Here you find betas for upcoming features that you can opt in or out of as you please. Want to share your thoughts on something early on? Awesome. Opt in. The icing on the cake, you'll be rewarded with extra blood points for the first bunch of matches you play with a beta activated. Unlike the player test build, these betas are also available on consoles. Everyone's invited. Wait. Is this just something you turn on in the in-game menus? Hold on a second. Next time you head to the settings menu, you'll see a betas tab. Wait, no. What? I'm not sure what this means. Is this like a whole different build? Is this like the... I can't tell if they're saying that, like, yeah, it has to be, right? It has to be like a whole separate build. I can't tell if they're talking about like... They're saying upcoming features. I'm not sure if they're saying, like, for instance, like, okay, I heard about this wiggle update. I haven't actually read all the details yet, but I like people have been telling me, like, hey, Tofu, they're like changing wiggling or something. Are they talking about little things like this that aren't actually going to be unfair? Or are they talking about balance changes? Because if they're talking about balance changes, then that means that it's going to be a whole different build that you have to load up. But if they're talking about just like minor changes like this, that like where you do the same thing, you just do it differently, would it just be a setting you put on in game? I don't even really understand what this means. I feel like they weren't. Like, maybe I'm just dumb, but I feel like they weren't really clear about what the fuck this means. I mean, sounds cool, I guess. I don't know. Wiggle update. Last year, we changed struggling from button mashing to skill checks, making it much more accessible and a lot easier on your buttons keys. We've been working on a similar update to wiggling as well, and we're finally ready to share it with you. Instead of mashing buttons, you'll see a skill check while being carried. And this one has 2 zones and doesn't go away when you hit it. Instead, hitting the skill check successfully will cause it to switch directions and gradually fill your wiggle meter. Keep hitting those skill checks to keep it wiggling. This interaction keeps wiggling interactive while requiring far fewer inputs and is much easier on your joysticks, making it more accessible to players with repetitive strain injuries. Additionally, each side of the skill check can optionally be bound to different buttons to further increase the gap. I mean, that seems cool. So this is like the image we get, and it's not like, I don't know, it's kind of blurry. It looks like there's a great skill check in there. What's the point of the great skill check? What's that do? Will that make you wiggle faster if you hit greats? Ooh, that's kind of scary. What's the point of the great skill check? That kind of scares me, man. I feel like if the great skill check makes you wiggle faster, then that's kind of monka. I mean, maybe some people would like that, but I feel like, I don't know, depending on like how much faster, that could be really rough. I don't know, man. I feel like they should just be not great skill checks. It should be like autodidact skill checks. You know what I mean? That's a bit odd to me. But hey, I mean, this is to help with accessibility. And hey, if it helps with accessibility, I'm down, dude. Wiggling is, you know, honestly, no matter what they do to wiggling, it's always just going to be kind of like tedious, I guess. It's going to be tedious for like longtime players, but you know, if it's better for people, it's better for people. I've definitely heard reports of people like breaking their joysticks on console because of how much they have to like spam it back and forth. So yeah, I mean, this does sound like a good change. I'm happy they're doing it. Toggle interactions. On the topic of accessibility, another feature we'll be debuting is toggle mode for interactions. This new option, which can be enabled in the settings, makes holding a button for long periods of time a thing of the past. This is so good. Simply press the button to start the interaction and press it again to stop it. You'll find a new option to cancel interactions by sprinting. Yes. Enabling this will automatically cancel actions. Yes, I love this. Sweet. So it's like canceling your reload in Call of Duty by sprinting, except you can cancel your toggle. This is sick. Yeah. This frees up a hand so you can take a drink while hitting skill checks. Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. We'll still predict when you're taking a drink and give you a skill check, though. That's our favorite feature. Okay, fuck you, behavior. Fuck you, man. You do give me a skill check every single time I take my hands off the keyboard. It's true. You sons of bitches. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Dude, this is a big thing for me because I love like Like if I'm ever like trying to eat food while I'm playing or something, like there used to be a feature. I don't know if you guys know this. There used to be a feature where you can start doing a gen, hit escape, let go of like whatever button you had to press to do the gen, and then hit escape again, and it would basically do this. Like there was kind of a way where you can bug this and like kind of have like a toggle feature that was bugged. And then they fixed it, and it made me so mad because it was my favorite thing to do while I was like eating, right? Or if I was like taking a drink or something. Like not having to sit there and hold M1 is so nice. This is a really, really good change. I'm actually really, out of everything in this is the thing I'm the most stoked about. I love that. That's so good. That's the end of the first batch of patch notes, though. Let me go to the second one. Okay, part 2. Welcome back. Part 2. First things first, Leatherface mask. Yeah, they're getting rid of the Claudette mask, which is probably the good play. Not even going to talk about this one, honestly. I feel like this one kind of speaks for itself. I'm just going to let that one go. This doesn't really affect the actual, like, balance of the game or anything, but, you know, obviously, I think my feelings towards that are going to be pretty obvious. Grade rewards revisited. Okay, this seems like a big thing. A few months back, ranks became grades, and we introduced rewards based on how far you manage to climb each month. Currently, the rewards range up to 250,000 blood points. We've been tracking grades since resets in the months. Wait, we've been tracking grade resets in the months. Oh my god, I can't read. Since to see, no, never mind. I think they're typing this bad. We've been tracking grade resets in the months since. Oh, I think there should have been like a comma there to see not only how far everyone manages to get in a month, but also how many matches it took to get there. The current reward for your efforts doesn't seem very fitting, so we'll be increasing the grade rewards starting with the January 13th season. With the new rewards first going, wait, how much? We're in the process of finalizing the exact rewards. Oh, but we'll keep you posted once they're decided. Rest assured, they will indeed be higher than before. Okay, so it just gives you more incentive to play, I guess. I mean, that's cool, I guess. I don't know. I don't really. I saw some people complaining about this. Like, I saw some people complaining on Twitter about like, oh no, don't give people more of a reason to try hard or whatever. But I don't know. I'm okay with this. Like, it seems right? Like, I mean, really all it comes down to is like people are gonna play the game regardless, and people are gonna rank up regardless. So it's just basically giving people more blood points. Which honestly, with how rough the grind is in this game, fucking sure, dude. Sign me up. Why not, man? More blood points for everyone. I'm down. Okay, add-ons. How much is there? Perks. Oh, there's just perk and add-on changes. Okay, add-on changes. This is another thing I heard a lot of fuss about. People seem to be upset about the things that were changed. So let me see. We made some tweaks in our last minute chapter. We made some tweaks to a bunch of different add-ons. We were thrilled to see such a positive reaction, so we decided to make it a tradition. We hope to make add-on tweaks like these a more regular part of our updates in the future. Yes, please do. Please keep in mind that just because you don't see a particular add-on on the list below doesn't mean it's not on our radar. We'll rapid fire through the add-ons. We'll be adjusting this time. The Blight Adrenaline Valve reduced the rush turn rate penalty to 55%. Reduced the rush turn rate penalty. Okay, so the rush rate penalty was higher, and then they reduced it. So it's better, which is fine. Adrenaline Valves kind of sucks, so that's fine. The Cannibal. Reduce movement speed to 2% from 4% for Carter Tuning Guide. So what? So it's a buff. So you go faster while you have Tuning Guide. Death Gauge Rake. Reduce movement speed penalty, so Death Gauge Rake also got buffed. Eerie Flesh. Lowered the minimum tantrum to 5 seconds, was 8. Oh, so like if you get like a bunch of charges and then you tantrum, the maximum you can get is 5 seconds. So that's also a buff. Long Guide Bar. Increases time before tantrum. Wait, increased time before tantrum by 2 seconds was 1. So they just buffed a bunch of bub add-ons. They just buffed a few things. It seems to me like the general consensus here. I'll just keep going. Solvent Jug. Increased duration by invigoration by 2 seconds was 1, so a buff. Robin Feather decreases cooldown by 40%, was 30, so another buff. Flask of Bleach increases hindered effect by 4, was 5. So that's actually a nerf. That's the first nerf we've seen. They actually nerfed Bleach to be 4% instead of 5, which isn't that big of a deal. Redhead Spinky Finger reduces bottle count by 2. Wait, what did it do before? Did it not do that? Oh, I don't think it did that before, did it? I think it just made you one shot down. So they kind of nerfed that too. Okay, so they nerfed both of these, and then they buffed both of these. But like, was that really needed? I don't know. The Pig, Amanda's Letter, reduces available bear traps by 2 instead of 3. So they buffed Amanda's Letter. Last Will also got buffed. So yeah, instead of there being a 66% increased time, there's only a 33% now. So that also got buffed. Very minor buffs, but nothing big. The Twins, Iridescent Pendant increases exposed duration to 45, was 30. Okay, so that's the one where when you kick Victor, you get exposed. So now it's 45 instead of 30. Not really that big of a deal. No one really used that add-on much anyway. Baby Teeth, increased blindness duration to 30, was 15. Not really a big deal. Madeline Scarf increases Victor movement speed by 0.3, was 0.4. I mean, that's kind of nice. They nerfed the movement speed add-ons for Victor. That's actually kind of nice. Or at least one of them. Toy Sword decreases pounds charge time by 0.2 was 0.25. So they got rid of 0.05. They got rid of 0.05 seconds. Stale Biscuit decreases pounds cooldown by 0.4. Okay, very, very, very minor changes, dude. Like super minor changes. Although Toy Sword and Madeline. Sorry, I don't know how to say this. These two add-ons were probably like the strongest, I would say, for twins. So them getting a slight nerf, I guess, is okay with me. The other ones just feel kind of random, but hey, you know, whatever. The Nemesis, Iridescent Umbrella Badge, increases the duration of exposed effect to 60 seconds, was 30. That's really good. That's the one where when they vaccinate, they get exposed, right? That's kind of good. That actually makes that useful. 30 seconds was not long enough. 60 seconds actually makes it sound like that'll be good. I'll probably make a video on this. Shattered Stars Badge, increases zombie movement speed by 150 for 60 seconds, was 100%. Nice. That's when a gen gets done, right? I think. So that's a nice buff too. But like, so both the Nemesis Ultra Rares got buffed. Marvin's Blood increases mutation rate by 25%, was 33. So a slight nerf, not really a big deal. Mikhail's Eye increases zombie movement speed by 35, was 50. So also a slight nerf. So they buffed his Ultra Rares, nerfed a couple of his, I think, purples. The Huntress Wooden Fox increases undetectable duration to 30, was 15. So you can do a little bit more. Okay, but this is dumb anyway because undetectable and Huntress doesn't really do anything. You still have a Lullaby. This whole add-on doesn't really even make sense to me. But I guess they want people to use it because they're buffing it up to 30 seconds now. I mean, whatever, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to say this gives you no value at all. There's definitely like, it definitely throws you off if you hear a Huntress Lullaby, but you can't actually feel the terror radius. And you're like, oh, they're probably like, you know, 30 meters away. And then they end up being right on top of you. I don't think it's entirely worthless. It's just kind of a strange add-on. But hey, it got buffs. That's cool. The Oni, Eerie Family Crest, increases range to 24. Oh, that's the one where when you bang the ground, everyone around you screams, right? That's actually kind of a big deal. That's actually a pretty good buff. 24-meter radius is actually pretty big. So that's kind of a big deal. I like that. I kind of want to try that now. Okay, so yeah, I've seen a lot of people mad about this part of the notes. And I don't really get it. Why are people mad? I think the big thing I saw people saying was like, hey, why aren't they addressing the add-ons that need to be nerfed? Like things like Blight's add-ons, which don't get me wrong, I agree. Blight has fucking OP as shit add-ons, dude. Like Alchemist Ring, Speed add-ons, they're fucking bonkers, man. They're goddamn bonkers. They're so strong. So I would like to see them addressed, but I don't think these are bad changes, right? Like I don't think these are that bad. Like some of them feel a little unnecessary. Like nerfing a couple of clowns things, I guess, isn't like too necessary, but these aren't bad changes. These all seem okay with me. Like they buffed up some of Pig stuff. Like it seems like they're trying to buff up some of like the weaker killer stuff, and then they also like adjusted some of the other things to be a little bit more useful. Maybe just to see a little bit more variety in add-ons, which I think is okay. These are all fine changes to me. I don't think any of these are like I'm like mega excited about, right? Maybe like the Oni's Ultra Rare, maybe it's the one I'm the most excited about. But even that's not like a game breaker for me, right? Like that's not going to be a huge difference maker, but it's nice. It's a nice change. I'm not unhappy with it. Okay, perk updates. Okay, this is I feel like this is gonna be the same thing. I bet it's gonna be the same thing where they're not gonna touch any of the big ones, right? Yeah, I can kind of already see. It looks like all the weak perks. Yep, looks like all the weak perks. Okay, Boil Over. The effective wiggling have been increased to 100%, and the aura blocking range for nearby hooks has been increased to a nice round 16 meters. Additionally, Boil Over now has a new effect. If the killer drops from a height while carrying you, you'll instantly get a 25. What? No, dude, no. This is a horrible change. No, this is bad. No, this is bad. Wait, what? Holy shit. Wait, is this what people are pissed about? Because I found it. I found what people are pissed about. This is bad, dude. Oh, no. This is just going to make it so that people burn RPD offerings and bring Boil Over, and then they all run upstairs in the library and let themselves go down with like No Mither and Boil Over. Bro, that's so annoying. That's super obnoxious. I don't like that at all, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like that at all. I think there's ways that you can make a perk that like help wiggling without doing this kind of shit. This feels really, really bad. I don't like this at all. This feels like 100% people going up top of like RPD, or really like even going up top of like Ironworks of Misery, even like any map, right? Any map where there's like an upstairs place where that's like really useless. Or maybe like if you use the hook at the top of like Thompson House or something like that, right? Like, oh man, you could just go up somewhere up high and just be really annoying. Plus, like blocking the hook auras for 16-meter radius is big, dude. Oof, I don't like that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like that at all. This feels like a perk that's just gonna be really obnoxious. Like I don't feel like it's gonna be extremely strong in most scenarios. I feel like the only time that this is gonna be strong is if you're like really going out of your way just to be a fucking asshole, honestly. Which is not what I want to see. I don't want to see perks that are basically designed around being an asshole, which I feel like is what this is. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, you guys can feel free to like tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the only time this is ever gonna get used is if people are like basically going out of their way to be dicks and try to like quote unquote hold the game hostage, or you know, try to just basically troll the killer by running up to an area where they can't be hooked and then letting themselves go down, you know, like ugh. Well, moving on. Distortion. With all the things you can read with your auras these days, these tokens could disappear sooner than you'd like, so we're upping the number of tokens that you start with to 4. Okay, that's okay. Remember Me can have a lot of potential, but the basic attack condition can make it an unpopular choice, so it's gone. Remember Me and all get a token whenever the obsession loses a health state. Oh, so just so when the obsession loses a health state in any way. That's okay. But these are both just very minor buffs. I don't think they're really going to make these perks meta or anything, but okay. Wake Up. On that note, it seems like only fitting to revisit Wake Up. We've increased the gate opening speed to 25%. This should make the perk more impactful when it comes into play and offer some counterplay in the event that Remember Me catches on. I think it was 15%. 25% is actually pretty decent. That's a pretty big number, right? That's a hefty bonus. I like that. It's kind of funny. Wake Up actually sees some play in competitive. Because in competitive DbD, they actually like limit the amount of perks you can use, and like, well, like they limit what perks you could use, and even the perks that are unlimited, you can only run 1 per team. So like not every survivor can have like Decisive Strike, right? So they usually end up having one survivor that has like dedicated Wake Up. So when the exit gates, you know, are ready to go, they just immediately jump on them, and they're the ones that open the exit gates super fast. So that makes that even more of a good strategy, which I think is kind of cool. Because I always like I love that, right? When I hosted that tournament on my stream and I saw that people were running Wake Up, that made me super excited. I was like, dude, that's awesome. Seeing actual like random weird niche perks like this getting use in like an actual competitive play was super cool. I still don't think this is going to be like the problem with all of this is that like any perk that they buff up like this, it still doesn't do anything compared to the meta. I'll talk about that at the end. I still don't think we're ever going to see this in like our games though, like in our random games, you know? Gearhead. Simply put, the conditions for Gearhead are too strict for the payoff, so we're giving it a small rework. Anytime a survivor loses a health state, Gearhead activates. The next time a survivor hits a great skill check while repairing, the aura will be revealed for 10 seconds. A great skill check. I thought, wait, isn't current Gearhead a good skill check? Gearhead then deactivates. Wait, their aura will be revealed instead of the gen aura. These changes will make the perk more appealing on killers that rely on more heavily on special attacks and make it far more... Wait, what? Is this a nerf? Is this a nerf to Gearhead? Hold on. I need to Google what Gearhead does. Yeah, I wasn't wrong. It's good skill checks. Yeah. Like, I know that it shows the aura of the gen and not the actual survivor, but it's on good skill checks right now, and they're changing it to great skill checks. Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense at all. Is this a typo? I can't tell if this is like a typo. Why would they change it from good skill checks to great skill checks? Did they say great skill check at any other point in this message? No. I wonder if that's a typo. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you be punishing survivors for hitting great skill checks? When also, like, most survivors aren't even going to go for great skill checks. They're just going to chill and hit goods. And, like, that just makes it even more hard. Why is it not just hitting a skill check at all? Why does it have to be a good or a great? Who fucking cares? This perk isn't that good at all to begin with. Like, who cares? Why are there all these stipulations? Okay, this is dumb. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I'm okay with the change of making it so that it shows the aura of the survivor that actually got the skill check, and then Gearhead deactivates. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. But like, why the weird stipulations? Why the like certain kind of skill check when skill checks themselves are already RNG, right? I guess to be fair, it says that Gearhead will be up forever, so maybe it's actually okay. Like my issue with current Gearhead is that it's only up for like 40 seconds. Like when you activate it, it's activated for something like 40 seconds. It says several seconds on the page that I'm looking at. No, it's 30 seconds. That's like nothing. 30 seconds is like literally nothing. So if survivors just didn't get a skill check during that 30 seconds, you got no value. But now it looks like maybe they're taking that away. They didn't say that they're taking that away, but I think they are, right? It activates and it deactivates when someone gets their aura revealed. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying to struggle to understand this. So that seems like okay, but like again, the great skill check thing is weird. You think it would be the opposite. You think it'd be good skill checks. You think it would be hitting a good skill check. You'd think you would want to give survivors a way to get around it by doing, like, why would you punish them for hitting greats? It's so strange. You'd think you would want to punish them for hitting goods and not greats. Even still, very weird perk. I mean, I guess I'm down with it. I feel like it still needs something else, though, right? Like, it needs something else. I feel like you're going to see their aura, but, like, what's even the point of the 10 seconds? They're just going to be sitting on the gen for 10 seconds, most likely, right? Like, maybe, like, you see their aura, and then also they get afflicted with something. I don't know what, you know? I don't think exposed. I mean, I think that's too much. Maybe you see their aura for 10 seconds and they also become oblivious for like 10 seconds or something. That way you can like maybe try to make a move on them if you want, you know? But they could also then get off the gen. That way, like, you can try to make a move on them to like get a free hit, but also you might, like, they might just get scared and get off the gen, and you can see them getting off the gen. So you can be like, oh, I already got value because they got off the gen. You know what I mean? Like, that would be kind of neat. That would make it kind of like a tracking and a slowdown perk. I think it just needs something else. Like, this is neat. I like it, I guess. I feel like, first off, the great thing needs to be changed to good, and I think it needs something else. I don't know what. Okay, Power Struggle. The one released with pretty safe value, so it wouldn't get out of hand. But we're comfortable with reducing. This one released with pretty safe value, so it wouldn't get out of hand. But we're now comfortable with reducing the activation conditions. Power Struggle will now activate once 15% wiggle progress has been reached. That, I feel like, barely does anything. I feel like it's still the same thing. People are still going to run it with flip-flop. They're still going to send their pallets. That doesn't really change anything. So that's not too much of a difference, to be honest. I mean, cool, I guess, but whatever. Buckle up. Another small tweak. The aura reading duration has been increased. Bro, does anyone watching this video know what buckle up does? Does anybody know what buckle up does? Buckle up DbD. What does buckle up do? It looks like buckle up is a perk where, you can determine recovery progress of dying survivors by the intensity of their aura at a distance of 48 meters. When healing another survivor from the dying state to the injured state, the killer's aura is revealed to both of you for 6 seconds. That's going to be bumped up to 10 seconds. So it's basically like if you're going against a killer that's going to be slugging, you can run this, and when you pick each other up, you can see the aura. You know, I mean, again, it's neat, but like, are we ever going to see buckle up after this? Probably not. Coup de grace. This one's a little bit of a roller coaster. It was originally toned down because it was too strong, but then we made it a little bit too weak. We're bumping the lunge up to 80% after shortening the gap between the different tiers of the perk. Woo! Okay, cool. Because, yeah, they nerfed the fuck out of that. Now it's kind of unhappy with it. It used to be 100%, and I think they changed it to, oh, God. I hate that they don't have the old values. Coup de grace. I gotta look everything up, dude. I gotta look literally everything up. This is so sad. I know it was originally 100%. Right now, it's 60%. So it's right in between. It's at 80%. It's right in between what it used to be and what it is now. I mean, that's okay. I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that change. No complaints there. Furtive Chase has found its way into some niche builds. It can be a lot of fun to experiment with. However, losing all your totems when the obsession is killed leaves you without a perk for the rest of the match. So we're getting rid of that restriction. You'll no longer lose your tokens. Cool. That's just a nice quality of life change. Dead Man Switch. The obsession condition of this perk makes it very inconsistent to use, and also severely limits the number of times you can activate in a match. So it's gone. Now Dead Man Switch will activate whenever any survivor is hooked. Oh, I already recorded a video with Dead Man Switch. That's unfortunate. I'm still going to put it up, but that's unfortunate. Hey, I guess I can just do it again now that it's getting buffed. I mean, that's nice. That's a good change. See, here's the thing. That's all. That's all the notes, by the way. Here's the thing. These are all good changes. All these perks are good changes. But none of them are actually going to, like, be impactful. Does that make sense? Like, these are all good changes. They're basically doing, like, nice quality of life changes to all the perks that are weak. And, you know, not all the perks that are weak, but a bunch of perks that are weak. They're basically, like, buffing them up a little, giving them nice little quality of life changes. But the problem that I have, and I feel like I say this all the time. I feel like I've said this in, like, every single podcast I've ever recorded. I feel like I've said it in a lot of discussion videos I've made. The problem is that as long as the meta perks remain the power that they are, none of this fucking matters. None of this matters at all, dude. No one's gonna run any of this shit. No one's gonna do it, dude. Like, you think survivors are gonna stop running fucking Dead Hard, Decisive Strike, Borrowed Time, Adrenaline, you know, Iron Will, fucking, like the list of like 8 perks that every survivor runs? Do you think they're actually gonna stop running those perks for any of these now? Is anyone gonna start running Distortion now? You know what I mean? Or Wake Up? In like your average games? Probably not, right? Like, maybe people that are like brand new to the game that don't have everything unlocked yet, maybe, but like probably not. You know what I mean? And same thing with Killer. Like, are killers going to stop running like the 4 slowdown builds that everyone runs? And are they going to start running Coup now that it got a slight buff, you know, or Furtive Chase or Dead Man Switch? Probably not. Most likely not. Like, 99% of games are still going to have that crazy meta shit that everybody runs because they're miles above the rest. So like, I like these changes. I just feel like this would be,
if the meta wasn't so defined, this would be great. I'd be like, dude, cool, we might see some of these perks now. But it's sad because like until they address the meta perks, none of this matters. Like if they just tone down like the top like 10 perks on both sides, then these types of patch notes would then be amazing. We'd be like, yo, look at all these new perks we can play around with. But because like the 10 strongest perks on each side are so strong, none of this matters, dude. It's like, cool, but we're all gonna keep running the same shit anyway. Who cares? You know? It's such a shame. So honestly, like, I'm not really even upset about the add-ons thing. Like, this is fine. These are just some minor changes, nothing too crazy. I kind of wish there was a little bit more ambitious changes, but you know, I don't think the changes they made here were bad. So like, I'm totally cool with them. But the perk changes are just upsetting, man. I honestly like. It might come down to the fact that maybe behavior is like maybe they want to be really careful. Maybe they like don't want to like, you know, quote unquote rock the boat when it comes to things. And maybe they don't want to like make huge impactful changes because I'm sure there would be a big community feed. I'm sure like, here's the thing. I'm sure if they did nerf the meta perks, like if they nerfed like Dead Hard or if they nerfed like, I don't know, you know, like Bard. Well, I don't think they should even nerf Bard time, but if they nerf like Dead Hard or if they nerfed like, you know, like some of the killers regression perks like Ruin and stuff, you know, that would probably lead to some outrage. You know, there'd definitely be people that were pissed off. So maybe they're like trying to be careful with it, but I feel like it needs to happen eventually, right? Like it needs to happen, dude. How much longer are you gonna like take to be careful with it? Eventually there needs to come a point in time where you just fucking do it. Like just do it. Just address it. Like please just address it. Address the perks that are too strong. Otherwise, that's all we're ever gonna see ever. And I'm sick of seeing it. I want to see more things. I want these types of patch notes to be exciting. I want to see this and go, dude, this is exciting. But I can't because I know that the meta is too strong and no one's going to run any of this shit and it doesn't matter. I'm going to run this shit. FYI, I'm going to run this stuff because I'm going to be making dumb YouTube videos out of them. But other than stuff like that, you're not going to see them ever. So I don't know. That's it. That's all I have to say about the developer update. I'm happy overall with it, I guess. Like, all the changes in here are good. I don't think any of the changes that they made were bad, except for Boilover. Boilover's a terrible change. This is probably the only change in the whole things that I think is bad. But outside of the Boilover change, everything that I saw was a good change. I just wish that they used their... Like, I wish that they used their time to address things that were more important, I guess, is all that I wish. But overall, still an okay patch. I'm not complaining. I'm still happy with the changes. It's not like they're like doing bad changes. They're just doing changes that maybe shouldn't be priority. And yeah, that's it. I guess I'm just gonna end the video here. If you guys like this, if you guys enjoyed my ranting, feel free to like the video, leave it a like. Please comment your guys' thoughts on this. If anything I said here you disagree with, let me know your thoughts. I definitely made a lot of statements, and I'm curious to know how people feel about the things that I said. If you disagree with anything, or even if you want to just back me up and if you do agree with something, feel free to let me know. I'm very curious to know how the community feels about this stuff. I'm recording this video before I ever even did a live stream after this was announced, so I haven't even gotten a chance to like talk to my community about it yet. So I'm kind of not in the know right now. I'd love to know. So yeah, like the video, subscribe. Talk about my live stream if you want. Do all that stuff if you want, or don't. Doesn't matter. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your night. I'm out of here. See ya. Take care. See ya. See you later. See ya.